So we have finally made it to the promised land. It is season 5 with Reading in the Premier League. We are already 4 games in. The transfer window has slammed shut. We have spent £38 million to try and keep us in the league. And currently, we're 15th place. It's not started particularly well, but we've only lost twice. So, starting with transfers, leaving the club, just 2 players that we're actually going to mention. Mirko Pigliacelli is the first one, going to Clermont Foot for about £600,000. So, we basically made a profit. And making a huge profit is Nahuel Ferraresi, or whatever his name is. The Venezuelan, formerly of MC Talk, has left, moving over to South Wales to play for Swansea for £6.25 million, potentially rising to £8.5 million. I do not know what Swansea saw in him, but I will definitely take that money every day of the week. The first of 12 players to join the club, I think 11 of them on permanent deals and just 1 loan deal, is Luke Mbete, the Democratic Republic of Congo central defender with 7 caps to his name, formerly of Manchester City. He came in on a free. He's not going to play a lot, but he gives us more depth. Also joining from Manchester City, making his loan deal a permanent one, is Josh Wilson-Esbrand on a free transfer. I think this is a very good bit of business. 37 appearances so far for us. Another player joining on a free is Josh Laurent, 32 years old, central midfielder, formerly of Stoke and Reading. He has returned back to Reading. I brought him in basically because of he's not bad, is he? He's actually alright. He's not going to be playing every single week, but he's coming off the bench a few times at the moment. Up front, we have brought in Jackson Muleka from Besiktas because we needed a pressing forward, and he was available on a free transfer, and he's pretty good. We've also brought in Joel Parole on a free transfer. He got released from, I assume, Leeds. He was out on loan, maybe at Leeds or Birmingham? No, he went on loan to Birmingham from Leeds, got released, we picked him up on a free transfer. I think that's a good bit of business. Still only 28 years of age. I think he's going to help us stay in this league. Next up for some actual money is Victor Cruz. For £225,000, we have picked up the Angolan defensive midfielder from Academio Lobito, who, as we were trawling through a bunch of African leagues, I saw him and went, he looks alright. We've brought him in. He's worth £39 to £46 million. I think there's some potential there. This deal, by the way, I did actually do like a year and a half ago. I just couldn't sign him until he turned 18 in August. Another player coming from my African adventures is Chidi Uche, a 19-year-old Nigerian goalkeeper from Enyimba. If you want to sign decent players from Africa, and specifically Nigeria, Enyimba. Always check out Enyimba. He has come in for just under £1 million. He's worth £19.5 million to £25 million. He might be our number 1 goalkeeper this season. And to finish off our expeditions of Africa is Akram Saidi, a 19-year-old Moroccan centre-back from Rabat in Morocco. 5 caps to his name. Actually spent last season out on loan at Bristol City, which is a bit weird. He's come in for £2 million, and he's probably good enough to play for us every week. The first of 3 players to join from Southampton, can you tell I'm a Southampton fan, is Will Smallbone, brought in on a loan deal until the end of the season. Not going to be playing every single match, but he's a good option. Basically, he's going to be, as obviously a deep-lying playmaker, but we're not really paying a huge amount of money for him, so it's not too bad. Next up is Juan Larios for £3 million from Southampton, obviously. I'm pretty sure he's got a reasonable amount of potential, but he never really hits it because he never gets any game time. So maybe we look at playing Larios for half a season, see how well he does. Hopefully, he can turn into a half-decent player. Obviously, Wilson-Esbrand is probably our number 1 left-back. Larios is number 2. And rounding out the Southampton signees is Samuel Edozie for a lot of money. £14.5 million, I believe. Played 131 times for Saints over the last, 5 seasons, formerly of Man City. We've got a lot of former Man City young players now in our squad as well. He's just good, isn't he? He's going to be our number 1 left winger because basically, I think with our options that we've got on that side, we don't really have a huge amount of experience. And weirdly, at 24, Edozie does have that experience now. And on the right-hand side, for £17.5 million, is Harry Wilson. We have basically strengthened our wingers. That was kind of where I was thinking we could improve. Defensively, I think we were pretty good. Central midfield, I think we were pretty good. On the wings, I think is where we were struggling. So Harry Wilson is hopefully going to be adding a lot of assists on that right-hand side. Unfortunately, Scotty Banks, I don't think is going to cut it in the Premier League, but he is still here. And I think that is all of the transfers. I think that's all the transfers that we've brought in. I don't think we've missed anyone at all there. Leaving the club, as I've mentioned, we had 2 permanent deals, but everyone else is on loans. Leai has gone to Wickham. Basil Tuma to Rotherham. He'll be back in January scoring a winning goal in a relegation scrap. Don't worry about that one. Robbie Beale has moved over to Rochdale. He'll also probably be back in January doing exactly the same thing. And that's pretty much it. We've actually kept quite a big squad for this season. We've got, obviously, still got Liam Delap. If we're sorting by training, this is how I kind of sort my squad out. So, goalkeeper-wise, we've got Boyce Clark and Uche in goal. We've got Larios and Norton Cuffy as our left-backs. As our right-backs, we've got Guinness Walker. I've said that wrong. I'm doing Larios as a right back. That's right, I forgot that. Larios and Norton Cuffy are going to be right backs. We've got Guinness, Walker and Wilson Esbrand as left backs. Central defence, we are stacked, if you ask me. House, Mepham and Bete, Nissen and Sadi in central defence, which is always good. Central midfield, we've got too many players, haven't we, for the two positions. Potts, I would love to leave, but nobody wants to buy him. And then we've got Hamilton, Kozlov, Laurent, Offenborough, and Victor Cruz, and obviously Will Smallbone on loan. On the right wing, Wilson and Banks. On the left wing, Taylor Hart, Adozie, and Pena. And then our striking options are pretty good. Liam Delap, Joel Perol, Maleka, Danny Ings, and Mansouri all still here. Obviously, Danny Ings probably not going to see much of him this season. And speaking of this season, things actually started off very, very well with a 4-1 win against West Brom, which actually, I think, put us top of the Premier League. But then we kind of slipped up immediately against Man United, losing 5-2. A 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, pretty decent. And then a 1-0 defeat against Bournemouth, not ideal either. That is a match we really should have won. But we're 15th. Ultimately, if you look at the season preview, we should be finishing rock bottom. So if we can finish anywhere above the bottom three, I will take that as a win. Kicking off our first match on camera for Season 5 then, it is Reading versus Leeds, a Leeds team who are currently 5th in the table. I was hoping we might be able to do alright in this one, but now I'm not quite sure. It's going to be Boyce Clark in goal, right back will be Larios, Mepham, House and Guinness Walker round out the back four, Offenborough and Hamilton in midfield, Wilson and Adozie on the wings, Mansouri and Maleka leading the lines. We've got some injuries, okay? We've got some injuries. Laurent is out injured, Perot's out injured, Delap is out injured, Kiddo Taylor Hart is also out slightly injured. Fitness is also a bit of a problem. Wasn't too convinced I should be playing Wilson and Adozie. Maybe we should possibly drop one, but maybe Pena and we do that. And then Adozie can come on in the second half. That might be not a terrible idea. So our first Premier League match on camera of this Reading save. And Leeds are definitely going to be a tough opponent. We are, like I said earlier, down in 15th place. Leeds have won 4 of their last 5. That's pretty good, right? I mean, that's not ideal, is it? They got 9 points out of a possible 12. We've got 4 points out of a possible 12. We need to kind of be winning these types of games. We're at home against, I'd argue, a mid-table Leeds side who just seem to be performing quite well at the moment. 15 minutes on the clock and we've got a free kick in a reasonable position. Wilson's effort, though, just goes straight towards a Leeds man. Wilson again. Forward finds Mepham. Now Wilson on the left-hand side. Harry Wilson cuts inside. Gets some space for himself. He's hit the post. Larios finds Mansouri. And the Algerian's effort is deflected over the bar. We've got a corner. And it is going to be Harry Wilson going over to take it. Our most expensive signing ever, I believe. Wilson's corner comes in. Courtney House is there. Doesn't get on the end of it. And now McAteer can basically run off. I seem to be having problems with Football Manager at the moment. Where randomly it'll be really foggy. And all I need to do is go into the tactics and sub-screen and it fixes the fog. And I don't know what it is. Boyce Clark with a goal kick. Also, the fog doesn't appear to be fixed, does it? Mepham has the ball forward to Offenborough. Down the line, finds Harry Wilson on that right-hand side. Options on the right as well. Ball over the top instead. It's towards Pena, who was probably miles offside, which is why he didn't bother running for it. Semedo plays it in the middle to Luis Felipe. Intercepted though by Hamilton. Mansouri finds Harry Wilson, and Harry Wilson should have scored. We should be 1-0 up. This is very, very promising. How we are playing right now is very, very promising to me. Leeds are struggling. Wilson is struggling. He's ready to come off at half-time. So is Hamilton. Maleka also is ready to come off at half-time. Fitness is a bit of an issue at the moment. It is Morton for Leeds United. Now McAteer plays it back to Semedo. McAteer gets it once again. He's got loads of pressure though. Pena's putting pressure on Semedo as well. Intercepted by Maleka. And now the striker curls it and hits the top of the bar and it goes over. We are doing everything but score right now. We are doing absolutely everything but actually score a goal. Half time. We're doing well. I need to look at this fitness because this is a concern. He's got an injury. That's why we're going to do Banks coming on. We have to do it. I know Wilson's playing well. He seems to have been involved in quite a lot, but that injury is a concern for me. Maleka to Mepham. Banks is now on that right-hand side. He's got Larios, who's on a 7.1. Finds Scotty Banks. I don't think Scott Banks ever thought he'd be playing in the Premier League, even though he did come from Crystal Palace. McAteer goes for a wander backwards. Maximilian Woba. I'm pretty sure last time he played Leeds, didn't he score an own goal? I'm pretty sure he scored an own goal. Am I thinking somebody else? Luis Felipe, ball forward, intercepted by Mika Hamilton, who's also looking pretty tired. Maleka, first-time shot, goes over the bar. Another chance goes begging. We just need to take one of them. We're not getting shots on target. That's the problem. Just before the hour mark, we're going to ruin some people's fantasy team scores at the moment. So Kozlov's is coming on for Mika Hamilton. We are also going to do Maleka coming off for Danny Ings. Danny Ings is playing in the Premier League. at 35 years of age. It should be Liam Delap and Maleka, or Liam Delap and Joel Perreault up front. That's kind of what I want to be doing. Mepham's going to get there first. That is a cracking free kick off the training ground. Danny Ings scores. The flag goes up. Premier League, which means we should have VAR. I'm pretty sure Mepham was miles offside though, so I can't imagine this one's actually going to count. It is disallowed. Of course it is. Final 20 minutes, and if it stays 0-0, this is definitely 2 points dropped rather than 1 point gained in my eyes. We've got an XG of 1.5. Leeds have done very little. If they score now, I'm going to be fuming. Courtney House heads vertically upwards. Pena flicks that head on. That's what we like to see from the Colombian. Sinistera picks it back up though and all the way back to Melia in goal. Miles off his line, which means if we can nick this ball, he's even further off his line now. Pena doesn't quite get it. Luis Felipe manages to save the day a little bit. Talisca back to Felipe. Ball on the ground to Melikin. Now Mark Rocker back to Strike. Forward again. Now Aronson. He's going to get past Mepham. He doesn't get past Mepham, but they keep hold of the ball. Leeds are going to score. Leeds are absolutely going to score. It goes just over Boyce Clark's bar. It stays 0-0. Right, final few minutes. Offerbrook is coming off. Smallbone is going to come on as that ball in the midfielder. This is going to be his debut, by the way. We're also going to do a dozy for Pena on that left-hand side. We've got 7 minutes to try and find a winner. We've got 4 minutes to try and find a winner now as we go into injury time. Nothing is happening. And this, it's on paper, doesn't sound like a bad result. But from that match performance, we did nothing in the second half. We did absolutely nothing in the second half. I have never seen that at all. Okay, we've done nothing in the second half. So first half was really good and we should have scored. Second half, we just didn't bother doing anything. We just defended. Maybe a point's fair. I'm going to say you were unlucky. I'm going to kind of blame the strikers, Mansouri, Maleka, arguably Danny Ings, although he didn't really get a chance to do a huge amount. Probably, we should have won that, shouldn't we? Goalless Mansouri played 10 hours of football without scoring a goal now. That is, that's not ideal. That is really not ideal. But we do move up to 12th place in the table. We're now going to jump forward for, I think, a week where we play 16th place Liverpool. Yep, 16th place. I'm not sure, are they good still? They've still got Klopp. They've still got Salah. Salah's 35. It's good to see Football Manager is still doing absolutely ridiculous results. Wolves have just beaten Chelsea 7-4 and moved themselves up into second place. 7-4. Right, match number 2 then, which is now 10th place Liverpool versus 15th place Reading, because other matches have happened. It's now Saturday evening, which means we are probably on TV. We have kind of got through some of our injury problems. So I say injury, fitness problems. So we've got Boyce Clark in goal. Larios keeps his place as the right back, even though Norton Cuffy probably should be our right back. Mepham House, Guinness Walker, Offenborough and Hamilton in midfield, Wilson and Adozi on the wings, which I love the fact we've got a 4-star and a 3.5-star winger, which is great. Maleka and Mansouri up front. We've got Kiddo Taylor-Hart is back from his injury, but we are still missing Joel Perreault and Liam Delap slightly. 5 days and 7 days. Josh Laurent is out for another 7 days to potentially 3 weeks. So our 2 main strikers we're kind of missing, although we do have Maleka, who is technically our top goal scorer. So Maleka needs to do something in this match. I'd love a goal from him. Once again, it's another foggy match for some reason. I don't understand why it's so foggy. Liverpool are up into 10th because I think they won a match and then they had a midweek game which they lost. I'm not quite sure how that works. But we're not in terrible form. We're not in terrible form. If we're going to keep this pattern going, it was a draw, a win, a loss, a win, a draw, which means it should be a win, right? This should be a win. Salah's corner comes in from the 35-year-old. Mepham heads clear. Luis Diaz collects it. Salah again, though, on the ground to Luis Diaz. Boyce Clark can't stop that one. It's 1-0, just 5 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. I keep saying it, but my number one objective is to not get relegated. And arguably, we're not in a good way, are we? We're 1 point off the relegation zone at the moment. And you've got Southampton and Brighton below us who have a game to play. It is Mika Marmol to Luis Diaz. Plays it back to Aymeric Laporte, who has moved over to Liverpool. Fair enough, I say moved over. He's gone from Saudi Arabia to Liverpool, hasn't he? It is Nico. Ball over the top to Sesko. He's in on goal. Boyce Clark can't do much to stop that one, but I'm pretty sure that's getting flagged for offside. VAR is doing its business, and the goal is disallowed. It stays 1-0 for now. Notice I said for now, because I feel like there is definitely another goal coming for Liverpool. 25th minute. We had the ball in their penalty area, but it's immediately left at the start of the highlight. Luis Diaz on that left-hand side goes for a run forward. He's got some company in, I'm not quite sure who that is. Is it Larios? Can't be Larios, surely. It is Luis Diaz, collects it once again on the ground to McAllister. Edge of the penalty area, gets some space for himself, blasts it into the back of the net. It is 2-0 to Liverpool. Told you there was another goal. It's matches like this that are going to make us regret not beating Leeds when we had the chance. Wilson with a free kick, 32nd minute towards Mepham, cleared quite comfortably. Wilson gets it back though. Mansouri goes for goal. He's not scored in 6 years. And Alisson tips it over the bar. Or it wasn't even on target apparently. But at least we had a shot. Courtney House with a free kick to Boyce Clark. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Down the line to Juan Larios, who is currently on a 6.7, so playing as an inverted fullback, or on the right-hand side, more likely. He's doing alright. Wilson, terrible. Terrible touch against his former team. And now Laporte has the ball for Liverpool in their defence. Jones to McAllister. Scored a cracking goal earlier, obviously. Forward ball to Benjamin Sesko. Now Diaz on that left-hand side. It's going to be a third goal very soon, isn't it? Nico, where are you going? All the way back to Laporte. Ball forward to Marmol. Liverpool are just passing their way around us at the moment. Diaz on the left. He's got 2 Reading players in front of him and he just walks past them apparently. Diaz keeps going for goal and almost finds the opposite corner. If we can go in a half-time at 2-0, it's not awful. It's not good. It's certainly not a good performance at all. Our attacking options, our highest rated attacking player is on a 6.6 and that's Maleka. I mean, that's not good, is it? I'm happy. You've been terrible. I'm not happy with any of this. No changes at the break because basically, what can we change? We don't have the options up front. We don't really have better wingers. Guinness Walker is struggling and he's the left back, right? They're attacking down our right-hand side. So why is he not playing well? We're not seeing anything from him. Larios' first touch is awful and Liverpool can come forward. It is Nico. Loads and loads of space. Long-range effort. Blast it into the back of there. Another cracking goal. 3-0. I'm not sure why Guinness Walker is playing so badly, but he is basically taking the blame for all of them. We're going to bring on Saidi as a centre-back, which he can play there. He has been playing kind of as a right-back, but I think he's a centre-back, isn't he? Let's be honest. So he's going to come in as that way round. Sure, we'll do it that way round. Courtney House as a left-back still doesn't really work for me. Mansouri's coming off for Danny Ings. We're going to do Edozie coming off for Taylor Hart, who's returned from his injury. Hamilton coming off for Kozlov's. And we've got one sub left to do. And we've still got 35 minutes of this match. And we've got to highlight. And I'm hoping this is just because of the subs and not because they're going to score a fourth. Laporte's ball forward. McAllister loses out to Harry Wilson, who then loses out to McAllister. We are just not playing football, are we? We've just decided we are not playing football. We've turned up at Anfield. Or I assume we're still at Anfield. And we've gone, nah, Liverpool are a little bit too good for us. We're not going to bother. The highlight has carried on, by the way, as well. Jones to Salah. In the middle to Victor Gomez. It's Victor G, but it's Victor Gomez. Jones goes for goal. It is saved. I believe it is saved by Boyce Clark. All the subs have now taken place just in time for this Liverpool corner. Salah steps up to take it. Cross comes in. Cleared by Mepham. Danny Ings flicks his head on slightly further. Concedes a throw, but gets rid of the danger. Victor Gomez again to Jones. Plays it back to Kanate. Where are you going to go? I mean, they've got one player in their half, and he's barely in there, and that's Laporte. And now they've got one player who's only their goalkeeper. Nico, back to Laporte on the centre circle. Where are you going to go? Plays it all the way back to Alisson, who is nowhere near his goal, and why would he be? We've not had the ball, I don't think, for ages. We've weirdly had a lot of possession. We've had 52% of the possession, but we've just done absolutely nothing. That momentum graph is frightening. Laporte's just hit it onto the bar. We need to get this ball clear. We do. We found Harry Wilson. Is a counter-attack on? Maybe. Danny Ings is not going to have the legs to get on the end of that one, is he? This is like the opposite of the Leeds game, where the Leeds game, we were the one who had all the chances and just did not score. This time, we've just had no chances and not scored. They've had a few, not even many good ones, to be honest. And they've managed to get 3 goals so far. Almost 4. Corner's going to come in then from the right-hand side. It is Morata. Doesn't get on the end of it. Saidi can clear that ball upfield. We've got, I assume that's Danny Ings, isn't it? Number 28 chasing it down. He's not going to get anywhere near it. Final 10 minutes. Is there a consolation goal? Are we going to do anything? Are we going to have a shot? A shot on target would be lovely because we've not managed to do that all match so far. Taylor Hart's cross comes in. It is a header upwards by Maleka, and we have had a shot on target. It's taken 80 minutes. The cross comes in. It's towards Taylor Hart at the back. He's not going to get there. Courtney House tries to keep it alive as well. We've had 3 shots on target. What's just happened there? We had 6 shots through on target, and we saw one of them, arguably. Victor Gomez goes for a run, off a run. Great slide tackle on a 7.1, playing very well for us. Maleka runs off to that left-hand side. Taylor Hart's down the line and does use the former Arsenal man in the middle for Danny Ings. And Danny Ings should have scored as well. The cross comes in. Becker can hold on. It's going to be 3-0, maybe even more. There's still time. Literally, the last 10 minutes of the match, we've woken up. Our XG is exactly the same as theirs, or was exactly the same as theirs until they had another couple of shots. What is this? What is that? We've decided, it took 80 minutes, and then we went, hold on, if we don't score goals, guys, we're not going to win this match. And then we just had loads and loads of shots, 9 shots, or 7 shots technically, in the last 10 minutes of the match. And we got an XG of 1.54, and still didn't score a goal. Oh, that's not good. 5 matches in a row without winning. I mean, technically, there are 2 wins there, but they are in the cup, aren't they? We've won 1 league game, and that was the start of the season. We've not had an easy run. Man United, obviously pretty good. Villa, pretty good. Leeds are definitely good up there. Yeah, Man United are 3rd. Villa are 13th. Okay, Leeds are 8th. Liverpool are 7th. So we've had some tough games. We've beaten West Brom, who are one of the few teams below us. We've drawn with Leeds and Villa. We've lost with Liverpool, Man United, and Bournemouth, who are a mid-table side. So it's not all doom and gloom. Once we get Danny Ings back, not Danny Ings, what am I on about? Once we get Liam Delap back, we should be scoring goals for fun, and then we should be propelling ourselves up the league. We need to be beating the Norwiches, the Newcastles. Newcastle are still owned by Saudi Arabia as an entire country, and they are 19th place in the table. I feel like Emery is not going to be lasting too much longer at this rate. But we need to be beating the Norwiches, the Newcastles, the West Broms, the Southamptons, the Brightons, the Palaces, the Villas, maybe not the Chelseas, although Chelsea might be rubbish in this anyway. That's going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we are going to jump a fair distance into the future, and hopefully, actually, we've got Newcastle and Norwich in a row, so I'm hoping that is 6 points easily there. Forest as well, a 5th. What's happened to Forest? Okay, let's ignore that. So that's going to maybe get 6 points, and then we're going to lose all of those because they're all very good, and we're going to come back for a match, the Southampton game. We're going to do the Southampton game in December on Boxing Day, and we'll do something the other side of the January transfer window as well. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in episode 2.